Students, today we are going to talk about the expression for energy stored in a charge capacitor. Well, we have already talked that what is the expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor when it is having air medium within the plates, or a dielectric medium within the plates, or a or more than one type, more than one two type of more than two type of dielectric mediums inserted between the plates. Now we can do it ourselves, means I am leaving it for you, the cases where we have conductor inserted within the plates, dielectric and conductor both inserted within the plates of capacitor. In all cases, whatever the variation may be, we will have to apply the same approach. First of all, we find the electric field for different regions. Say for example, for dielectric medium we have different electric field E0 upon K. For a conductor we have electric field 0, and for air medium we have electric field E0 equal to sigma by epsilon naught. So adding all these electric fields, we have to find the potential drop across these zones, and then once we find the total potential drop, we find the capacitance C is equal to Q by V. So the same process we have been adopting using earlier, so I am leaving it for you. Today we are going to discuss about the expression for electric energy stored in a capacitor which is charged. Now here you see, we know from work energy theorem that whatever amount of work is done on a body, equivalent amount of energy gets stored in it. So here, if we are bringing charge Q1, charge Q2 on the plate, finally while starting from charge Q1 already existing on the plate, then the amount of work done, infinitesimal amount of work done dW, when integrated within the limit Q1 to Q2, we will have the total amount of work done in moving charge, in accumulating the charge from amount Q1 to amount Q2. So that amount of work done will be the energy stored, electrical energy stored, and we know W is equal to V dQ, because we have already learned in this lemma that potential is work done per unit charge. So work done is equal to potential into charge moved, and when we put the value of V in terms of Q and C, because we have the relation for C is equal to Q by V, therefore we have V is equal to Q by C. So we replace V with by Q by C, and then we integrate it. Here you see C is constant, capacitance of a capacitor is constant, so that is taken out of the integral, and on integrating Q dQ we get Q square by 2. So within the limits Q is equal to Q1 to Q2, where Q1 is the initial charge on the plates and Q2 is the final charge on the plates. So therefore we have total energy stored in the capacitor will be equal to 1 by C Q square by 2, limits Q is equal to Q1 to Q2. So we get total energy stored is equal to 1 by 2C Q2 square minus Q1 square. Now if we consider that Q1, that is the initial charge on the plate, was 0, and the final charge, we simplify the expression and is taken to be equal to small q, then in that case the total energy stored, electrical energy stored in the capacitor due to charge Q brought on the plates starting from 0 charge on the plates equal to Q square by 2C. So this is the fundamental relation we have derived for electric energy stored in a capacitor. This expression will have so many applications, so you need to always remember it. Now we can further convert the format of this electrical energy in different way. Again we are using the same relation, Q is equal to Cb or C is equal to Q by V. So here you see, if you replace the value of C, if we put the value of C in terms of Q by V, so we get Q by V here. So V goes up and Q remains down. So Q square Q square in the numerator gets cancelled with the Q in the denominator. So we get half, Q remains there and V is there. So this is another expression for electrical energy stored in a capacitor. And yet another format can be obtained by simply substituting this Q value by Cv. You see that C is equal to Q by V, therefore Q is equal to Cv. So if we write for Q, we write Cv. So here half factor is there, and for Q we have Cv. So we have Cv there and one V is already there. So half Cv square. This is the yet another format. So these are the three important formats, but in all cases invariably, if you remember one of these, you can derive all the rest remaining two by simply using the relation Q is equal to Cv or C is equal to Q by V. Now yet another expression we are going to derive, because this expression which we are going to derive, that is the energy density per unit volume of the capacitor, is having great application in the coming chapter of electromagnetic waves, etc. So we need to remember it right now, and it will be also used in the chapter of magnetism, which we shall be learning later. So what we are going to find is expression for energy density per unit volume. Now what is the volume of the capacitor? You see, if the cross sectional area, the plate area is A, and the distance separation between the plates is D, then the volume of the capacitor, means the total volume space occupied by the capacitor, will be A into D, and therefore that is the volume. So we find we have already found the electrical energy stored, and that when divided by, after simplifying and shifting the format of electrical energy stored, that dividing by the volume of the capacitor AD, we get energy stored per unit volume. So here what we have already derived is energy stored is half Q square by C, but for Q we can have sigma into A. Total charge stored is surface charge density into area. So that becomes value of Q is sigma A. And for C we have already derived the expression for capacitance of a capacitor equal to sigma A by D. For air medium, of course, we are talking about air medium, and because here we are using epsilon naught. And so on putting the value of C0, that is nothing but C0 is here, and putting the value of Q, putting the value of C0 in this expression, we get total energy stored in a capacitor is equal to half. And for Q we have sigma into A. So Q square is sigma square A square, Q square is sigma square A square, and that divided by the expression for capacitance, that is sigma A by D. So sigma A by D. Now on solving we get equal to half sigma square AD by epsilon naught, because you see A is cancelling a square in the numerator, so only one A is left in the numerator. This D reciprocates and goes in the numerator, so it becomes AD, and sigma square is there and epsilon naught is already there. So we are having a new format of expression for electric energy in terms of charge density, surface charge density, and permittivity of the medium, air medium. Now energy density per unit volume will be total energy divided by total volume, and so that is total energy is half sigma square AD by epsilon naught. So that divided by AD, so AD and this AD both cancel each other. So we are left with half sigma square epsilon naught. now you see sigma by epsilon is electric field in air medium. Electric field in air medium is sigma by epsilon naught. So if we have sigma square by epsilon naught, we can write E0 square. So here we have only one epsilon naught, therefore we multiply it by epsilon naught and divide it by epsilon naught, so it becomes sigma square by epsilon square, and that becomes E0 square, and epsilon naught is there. So the total energy per unit volume for a capacitor will be equal to half epsilon naught E0 square, means this expression as well as the expression of electric energy stored in a capacitor, you see they all resemble with the expression for kinetic energy. What you see in the expression for kinetic energy is we have a half factor. You see half factor is always there, and you have a constant half m. Mass is constant, so here capacitance is constant. Here epsilon naught, that is permittivity, is constant, and v square a variable square, that is velocity square, but here it is potential difference square, here it is electric field square. So that way you can remember it. Always refer to the expression for kinetic energy. You see whatever the format we have, same format we have, and so once you stick to any of the expression, you can easily derive the remaining two expression for electrical energy. And of course for electric field we have permittivity, so we write half epsilon naught E0 square. That's all for now. Thank you.